Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre, Am I the A-Hole? On this video we're going to review the top 5 A-Holes of all time. So let's begin. I was in a higher end department store today, rhymes with looming tales, and happened to end up next to two teenaged girls while shopping. One of the girls had picked out a pair of very expensive boots, and they were both fawning over them. Second girl must have looked at the price tag and asks boot girl if she's really gonna spend that much on boots. Girl with boots says something along the lines of, "It's fine, I have my dad's credit card, I'm not paying," which instantly caught my attention because that's not her card. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my card, so I'm interested to see how this girl thinks she's going to get away with fraud, but had split up from the girls at this point because they had found something else. We end up at the same register, me behind, and I see her total hit well over 4 digits. The girl is about to swipe her card when I decide that I can't let her get away with something like this, and someone has to parent this kid if no one else will. I tell the cashier that isn't her card, but her father's, and I'm not sure she has permission. Girl and friend turn and glare at me, giving me possibly the dirtiest look I've ever seen. I swear this girl was going to throw a tantrum right there. I don't think she was ever told no. Girl tells cashier her father gave her the card to shop with because it's the store's credit card and it gives him the points. Now that I've pointed out it wasn't hers, cashier tells her she can't use that card. Girls tries to show ID to prove they have the same last name. Yeah, that'll help. And I tell her it's still fraud. Girl says it's not fraud because she has permission and tells me to mind my own business. I tell her that it is my business that she's doing something illegal. She needs to pay with her own card or I'll call the cops. Girl is pissed now and people are glaring at me. She uses her own card and leaves crying. Cashier looks mad at me and I tell my husband when I get home, only for him to agree I was in the wrong. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? In my opinion, like many of the other people in the post, yes, you are most definitely the a-hole. So let's go through the top comments. A deleted user comment says, "You are the a-hole. Did it ever occur to you that she was telling the truth and her dad had given her his credit card? Mind your own business." To everyone saying that she could have taken the card without permission, you are right, but it is still none of OP's business and there is no way to know for sure. If the girl was an adult who said she was using her husband's card, OP likely wouldn't have batted an eye. You are the a-hole because it was literally none of your business. I will never understand the sense of entitlement that comes from thinking you can just insert yourself into other people's affairs when you don't know them and it doesn't impact you whatsoever. Completely agree with this one. Then, No Thanks Hun says, "But it was something illegal, so it is her business." I thought the part about someone needed to parent this child was bad, but this is some Karen BS. I just love the sense of self-righteousness that she swooped in and finally a martyr, nay, a savior has at long last arrived to tell this girl, "No, not today, Satan." Entitlement was the perfect word. You're the a-hole, OP. Most of the comments go along those lines, so yeah, OP is definitely the a-hole. Don't stick your nose in other people's business. You're not an officer of the law and nobody was getting hurt, like physically hurt or psychologically hurt. So just don't. It's not up to you. Alright, let's move on to the next post. I'm the VP of sales at a software company and one of our sales development reps' parents passed away at the beginning of April. Sadly, they were involved in a car crash and both lost their lives. Now, the employee in question is a very young 22-year-old guy and has been with us for about 10 months now. He's a great employee and we were thinking about promotions in the next 6 months for him. His job is a high-paying one for a new grad, about 90K with commission and base, so we expect a lot from this position. Because of the accident, we let him take a 1-month paid leave of absence from work and he's returned a few weeks ago and his performance is severely lacking. He's super unmotivated, not cold calling or outreaching to prospects enough for the last 2 to 3 weeks since he's come back. Our whole management team has noticed this and we decided to let him go because we feel like he'd need months and months to be able to produce again, and we can't just wait that long. We called him into a meeting on Friday afternoon and gave him the bad news. He was very calm and rude about it, told us to F ourselves, and got up and went to his desk, grabbed his few things and left. I thought this was very, very unprofessional and extremely rude. I told my boyfriend about all of this and he said myself and my management team are a bunch of asses and pricks with no hearts. Am I the a-hole? The community deemed this person a big a-hole. Let's check it out. Melee30 says, "You are the a-hole for firing him without first going through the steps of describing his issues to him and giving him a chance to improve. He's been back for only 2 to 3 weeks. It's not about having heart. It's about making a dumb business decision for both you and him. So much smarter to work with this guy to get him back on track after a temporary setback than to push the eject button and have to find and start over with a new person. Dumb." Queen C Punt says, "You are the a-hole. Generally, people receive a warning about their performance before they get fired. You gave him bereavement leave and then fired him immediately after because he wasn't performing. Yeah, that was super harsh." Great Speller says, "Yep, congrats, you're the a-hole. You pulled a poor mourning kid's remaining stability and livelihood out from under him 4 weeks after his parents passed away. Hope the rest of the team's morale stays high after this one." Yep, that is a really bad message you're sending out to the rest of the team. Definitely OP and the management team are all a-holes here. You don't do that. That just makes the whole management team completely seem like they're only focused on results and they don't care about the team or their personal lives at all, which is exactly the opposite of good leadership. And then they just fired him after 2 or 3 weeks? Can you get over your parents' untimely death in that amount of time? I don't think so. Alright, let's move on to the next post. My wife is pregnant with our daughter. Initially, we were really happy and excited about it, but then she starts acting like a nut job. She gets angry and irritated for small things, insults me when she doesn't like the food I make, starts acting insecure, and accuses me of losing attraction for her. For example, she wanted to eat chicken sandwiches for dinner last week. Well, I made chicken sandwiches. So she eats all the chicken sandwiches, leaves me nothing, and told me that they tasted like crap. I wasn't upset because she left me nothing, but if she didn't like them, why did she have to eat everything? When I asked her this, she told me that she was hungry. Okay, fine. She does this every time, eats everything I make and calls it crap. I don't argue with her because I work for more than 80 hours a week and I really want to have some peace when I'm home. So yesterday, a random girl starts flirting with me after the gym and asked me if I wanted to meet up with her for some drinks. I rejected her and told her that I was married. And when I got home, my wife started to hug me and apologize. When I asked her what happened, she told me that her best friend suggested a test for my loyalty. So they asked a mutual friend to flirt with me and ask me out. And I passed. Yay! I'm really pissed. I am done with her antics. Would I be the a-hole if I ask her to move out? Edit. I don't live in the USA. Please don't discuss legalities based on the laws there. This is a tough one, but off the top of my head, your wife needs a new friend, because that friend that suggested this stupid loyalty test is an idiot. I'm not a woman, so I've never been pregnant, and I don't know how weird the changes the women go through are, but I'm not sure if that kind of behavior can be deemed only to hormonal changes. I don't know. I've never had that experience. But let's take a look at what the comments say. Liz says, "Yikes, might I suggest some couples therapy first? What she did was clearly an A move, though I don't think you'd be in the right to have her move out while pregnant." To that, Jip1984 responds, "Oh, what? Being pregnant doesn't guarantee you a relationship if you're being a terrible person." La P Monster says, "Not the a-hole. This subs infuriates me sometimes. No, not everybody sucks. Not by an effing long shot, and I'm curious if anyone would be justifying this if the genders were reversed. You are absolutely not the a-hole, and being pregnant does not give you a blank check to turn into an effing psychopath. Your wife shouldn't be getting a pass on this. At the very minimum, you need to separate and go into counseling. Do you really want to be dodging thirst traps and mind games for the rest of your life? Well, I don't know if separation right away, but I mean, that's the friend's influence. The wife should have known better. That's the one thing I would say they need to talk about. Showmaro5 says, not the a-hole. The eating everything and complaining sounds like pregnant mood swings, and you would be the a-hole for holding it against her. The loyalty test? That's a crappy thing to do. Throwing her out still seems a bit much, especially since she's pregnant. She probably has some self-esteem issues right now. She has a crappy best friend, yes, but maybe you should talk to her and tell her that this stuff is not okay. This one's weird because most of the top comments were not the a-hole, and everybody was like, yeah, she's nuts, she shouldn't be doing that even if she's pregnant, and you know, like we've already discussed and read. However, the sub or the moderators tag this guy as an a-hole, so go figure, right? Okay, on that note, let's move on to the last post. Backstory. My wife is coming back from a 4-day business trip. Her flight is just under 3 hours and she will be landing around 12:30 a.m. Airport is about 30 minutes away from our home. She generally hates flying in this late and asked if I could come pick her up from the airport. To clarify, the airport is O'Hare. It's a huge, busy airport. There are hundreds of business travelers coming through even at 1 a.m. and a huge fleet of taxis/Ubers standing by to take them home. If this was a little airport and she was waiting by herself for a taxi for 20 minutes, you would not be reading this post. As much as people are sensitive to it, safety is realistically not a huge issue here. I have to get up early and commute to work the next morning and wouldn't be getting home until 1:30 a.m. I get why she wants me to come, and I know it would be a good thing to do, but I also feel like she'd be completely fine just taking a taxi this one time. Am I just being lazy, or am I being a lazy a-hole here, Reddit? In my opinion, you can always catch up on sleep later, and it's been 4 days since she left. She's probably also tired and just wants to see a friendly, familiar face as soon as possible, so just go get her. So if you don't, I would think you are a lazy a-hole. Let's see what the community thinks. Lime Rent Doe says, you're the a-hole. This is so odd to me that people refuse to go out of their way for their partners. Yeah. If my boyfriend asked me to pick him up, I would have no problem because I love him and I love to see him and I can handle a little bit of sleep deprivation later on in the day. It honestly baffles me. Stop being so effing selfish. Toot that thing up, mommy says. You're the a-hole because she asked you, her husband, for a favor, for a reason. She knows she can take Uber. She probably doesn't want to do that at that time. And then a counterpoint. Big Red Car says, not the a-hole. I travel for business a lot and would never think of having my spouse pick me up at the airport. I either take a car and park it there or take an Uber. It's just work. An Uber would be just as fast as you picking her up, so why impose on your spouse? That is a good point, but anyways, I still think it's nice, to pick up your wife or your wife picking you up. It's nice, after 4 days out of your home, for your spouse to pick you up, I think it's a really nice gesture and shows a lot of love. Okay, anyways, he has some edits. Edits 1. I kind of knew in the back of my head that I should just go, but thank you for confirming. I'll suck it up and go get her. Thanks, Reddit. And 2. I went. She had a crappy flight and was surprised, overwhelmed to see me and cried happy tears. It was a cute moment. Your comments and shaming made it all possible. Okay, off to bed. And there you go. Alright, well, that was a nice note to end this video on. So I hope you liked it, and if you did, go ahead and click that like right underneath the video and stick around for more content. I'll see you guys on the next video.